Good morning, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me and also listen to the music, see the slides. Type Y in the chat box if you can. Good morning. Please let me know if you can hear me. Put in the chat box so that I know everything is working fine. Yes, no. Please confirm in the chat box if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me and also see the slides. Just confirm in the chat box. Type Y in the chat box if you can hear me so that we can begin. Great. Thank you, Ragini. Anybody else? All clear? Everybody can hear me and also see the slides? Perfect. Thank you. Great. Thank you. All right. So do you need to wait for some time or shall we begin? Just confirm if we can begin or shall we wait for a few seconds? Time is already 11:07, so we'll begin. Okay. All right. So this is the first of the series that we are planning for all of you. The series is called Job Search Essentials. And the objective is to help you understand all the essential components of searching for a job, not just in India, but everywhere else across the globe. Okay. So this is the first of the series, and we'll obviously keep doing more series. And the recording of this video will be available to you after the session. So you can watch multiple times and also you can learn more and more. Okay. And do share this with others if you find it beneficial, because only if everyone knows the topics, knows the concepts, we can grow together better. Okay. So some of you are watching me on YouTube and some of you are watching me on Zoom. So those of you who are on YouTube, I'm sure you know me already, but some of you who are on YouTube, Zoom may not be knowing me. So, okay, my name is Manoj. I'm a pharmacist by profession. I'm a registered pharmacist here in Karnataka, and I'm a medical writer. So for the past 15 years, I have been into medical writing, and medical writing is a wonderful profession where as a professional, we bridge the gap between the information knowledge between the physicians and the pharmaceutical company. So that is what I do as a person. And this is an interesting profile. So if you want to know more about me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or YouTube or all the social media platforms, and you can learn, okay, know more about me, of course. Okay, so perfect. Thank you. And let's begin with the today's session. And I'll walk you through what I'll be covering in today's presentation. And this will, as I mentioned it will be first of the series. All of you can keep the videos off for now. Later on, after the session, during the Q&A, I'll request you to on the videos. You can on the videos, you can ask me questions, and I'll try to answer you to the best of my knowledge. Okay. This is the first of the series for the nursing professionals. I have been doing a lot of presentations, lot of sessions for pharmacy and the medical professionals, but this is the first of the nursing. So I hope this will be useful for you and you will find it informative. Okay. All right. So let's begin. Okay. So what I'll be covering in this whole presentation is this. Okay. So there are three parts to this presentation. First part, I'll be covering about resume. And in this resume, I'll be talking about the facts about the resume. What are the different facts, known facts about resume? What are the parts of a resume, key components of a resume? Then I'll also give you a sample resume. So all of you who stay till the end of the session, you'll get a sample copy of the resume, also a template that you can just modify with your basic details and you're good to go. Okay. Then I'll also talk about the tips to get your resume to the next level for the recruiters. Okay. I'll tell you about the common errors or the mistakes that we make in the resume. I'll also tell you about the top job search sites where you can search for jobs, apply for jobs, and take your dream job. And also walk you through how to search for jobs, briefly as a demo. I'll try to do that. You can all of you can switch off the videos, not needed unnecessarily. It will be a bandwidth issue. Okay. And then I'll also tell you about the emails. Okay. And I'll also talk about good versus bad emails. So as college students, many a times we do not know how to create a good email ID. So I'll tell you how to create one if you have not created already. Then I'll tell you about what email is actually and why it is so important. in today's digital era. I'll talk about the 5 components of 5 C's of email writing. And these 5 C's are very, very important if you have to write a good email. Okay, then I'll talk about the parts of an email. I'll show you an email and then I'll tell you what are the different parts of an email. I'll also, give you a resume template at the end of the session. So that is like a bonus for you. So if you have to stay till the end, then only you get this bonus. Okay. And then at the end of this presentation, we'll have a Q&A. You can switch on your videos. You can talk however you want. You can ask me questions and I'll try to answer your questions. Okay. All right. So type excited if you're excited for this session and we'll begin. Let's see how many of you are excited to have this session. None of you? Let's see how many of you are excited. All right, thank you. So let's go on and you can use the chat box. I have muted all of you so that there is no disturbance, but you can keep using the chat box. If you have to ask anything, you can raise your virtual hand and I'll give you the unmuting right. So Ragini madam, I have given you the unmuting right. You can ask anything. If you want to talk, you can also talk and then we'll go. You can unmute if you want to talk.
Okay, sir. Whenever required, I'll do that. Thank you, sir.
So this we'll try not to talk during the presentation. This is just to avoid the flow issue. Okay. Once the presentation gets over, whoever wants to ask questions, they can raise the virtual hand and I'll unmute you and then we can talk. And that's the best way. That is how normally I do for all my presentations. Okay. All right. Thank you. So let's begin. Okay. So any resume is the key to access to recruiters and also key to success. So if you are able to access your recruiters through your resume, then you can get access to the success through your resume, right? So the resume is basically a key that helps you to get into a job profile through a recruiter and helps you to get your dream job and finally land to your successful career. Okay. So that is all about the resume. And let's see what are the facts about the resume. So there are many facts, but I have just given a gist of a summary of what the different facts are. You can create a resume only once you have liked the job, role, location, and salary. Okay, so as a student, most of us do this big mistake. We just try to apply for every job that we come across and we keep sending resume to everyone. This is a wrong way of sending for jobs. Please do not do that. You have to send resume to only jobs that you like and also as per the location. Say, for example, if there is a job vacancy in Hyderabad and you are right now based out in Bangalore, you do not want to shift, but simply you are applying, then you are wasting your time and the time of the recruiter. We should not do that, okay? So you have to like the job, you have to like the location, and also you have to like the salary that the recruiter is giving. If all the 3 criteria is met, then only you have to create a resume based on that job requirement and send to the recruiter. I'll also tell you how to create resume, so stay connected, okay? And then resume is the most important document for your dream job. So as I told you in the beginning, it is a key to access the recruiter. So it is definitely the most important document for your dream job, okay? And this is a fact. So most of the recruiters, they have only 6 to 7 seconds to look at your resume. They have only 6 to 7 seconds. You have done your degrees, 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, and years of your study. You have put in that resume of 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages. But any recruiters, they'll not have so much of time to look at the resume. They get so many resumes every single day. They just glance your resume only for 6 to 7 seconds. And if they really like the resume, then only they read the resume further. So it is very important for us to have the resume very informative, very crisp, and very short. You cannot afford to put so many unnecessary words in the resume just to confuse the recruiter. Okay, so it's a fact. And the resume has to be clear, concise, and tailored to the job for which you are applying. What does it mean? Every resume has to be very clear. Every point you write has to be clear, concise, to the point. Okay, you should not write unnecessary word. Tailored to the job means, so for example, if you're applying for job A, the resume has to be tailored or modified as per the job A. If you are applying to job B, then the resume has to be modified as per the job B, because the requirement of job A is different than job B. Got it? Type got it if you got this. Okay, in the chat box, use the chat box so that I know everything is, you are able to understand when I'm speaking, and this way it can the entire session can be more interactive. Okay, so you can keep using the chat box. Type got it if you understood this, and you will follow this. Okay, so keep using the chat box. I see some of you are putting chats on the YouTube, but I'm not seeing on the, you have to use the chat box. If you're understanding what I'm saying, then you have to keep using the chat box. Okay, so this is very important. These points are very important, and we should always take care of this thing. Thank you, Momita, for responding. Okay, and a good resume can also increase your earning potential by approximately 7%. This is as per a research, and this research was done by GPR Research Company. And they say that a good resume, if the resume is very attractive and very nicely done, to the point, the recruiter gets, really excited about the candidate, and he or she can offer you an increased salary. So it may increase the earning potential of the candidate if the quality of the resume is very good. Okay, perfect. The next, a strong resume can get a job. A weak can remove you from the competition. This is a fact we should all know, that if you are competing with your classmates. So let's assume that you have about 20 or 30 or 60 classmates. Okay, and all of you are applying for the same hospital job. Okay, and all of you have created resume, and all of you have submitted the resume. Now each one of your resume has to be a little different with respect to the skills, with respect to the objective, with respect to the content. And a strong resume, a good resume, can get that job for you, get the job to you. And a weak one, or a bad resume, can remove you from the competition. So it can get you a job, right? Perfect. Let's go on. So these were some of the facts, and we should always remember these facts whenever we are drafting or creating our resume. Now let's understand what are the different parts or components of a resume. So any resume will have these elements, these parts in the in the document. Okay, the first part is the contact information: your name, your email ID, your mobile number, your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so how many of you use LinkedIn? Type me in the chat box if you know LinkedIn. Okay, type me in the chat box if you are on LinkedIn. If you don't know LinkedIn, then type D and K. Okay, let's see how many of you know LinkedIn. Do you know LinkedIn? Yeah, so Amar knows LinkedIn. And what about others? DNK, okay, don't know. Okay, so LinkedIn is a job site or a job it's a professional platform. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Twitter. All these are social media platforms. Similarly, LinkedIn is a business platform which has more than 850 million users. Okay, so all these 850 million users are active on LinkedIn, and it is a wonderful platform to connect with your professional colleagues and also get into jobs, different job roles. Okay, so that is the power of LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, I'll tell you how to create one and how to connect with people later on as a demo. I'll tell you, but that's a wonderful platform. So if you do not have a LinkedIn account, then you can go on linkedin.com and create an account. It's a free account. All you need is an email ID and a phone number. That's all. Okay, correct. So moving on. What error are you getting? Somebody messaged me. What error are you getting? I don't know. So you have to go to, I have already sent you the Zoom link, right? So you can just go to that link and click on it. It's easy. Just give me 1 second. I'll just copy that one more time to you. All right. Fine. I have just sent you the Zoom link just in case some of you are not able to join. Okay. Please do that. Okay. Remind me for the demo at the end. Okay, so I'll give you a demo as to how you can create a LinkedIn profile. Okay, and then we'll do this. So, okay, so the first one was contact information. It has to have your name, email ID, phone number, and your location. Just write Bangalore or Hyderabad, or you don't have to write entire address in the location. You don't need to put the entire address. Okay. Then there is an objective. So objective is like the summary of the resume. So recruiter, as I told you, will not have too much of a time to read your entire resume. So he just goes through the summary, which is like few lines, and then few lines you are telling the recruiter that you are eligible for this particular job. Okay, that's the objective, or that's the summary of the resume. Okay, next, work experience. So some of us are college students, so will not have any work experience, but some of us might have worked in hospital and done some internships. So we can take that as a work experience. Alternately, some of us, when we are studying, we do volunteering activities. So we volunteer with organizations, we do blood donation camps and all of that, right? So we can use that also as an experience. All right. Then we have to put some of the key skills. What are the key skills? Key skills relevant to that job profile where you are applying. So there will be a lot of job profiles. The same resume you cannot send to all the job profiles. You'll be sending a specific resume for specific job profile, and only skills relevant to that job profile you should put. There are some skills like dancing, singing, and reading books. They are not relevant for that job profile, so we should not be putting. Okay. Then there will be awards and accomplishments. So in awards and accomplishments during your college life, during your internships, you might have got some certifications, some awards. Okay, you can put all of that here, right? Next is professional membership. So like in pharmacy, in nursing, you have this professional membership, right? So you can be a registered nurse, or you can be a registered pharmacist. You can be a registered doctor. So these registrations are with respect to the association. So you can put the professional memberships related details there, right? Then last comes the education. Education should always be put at the end in the resume, right? And then comes the references. So references is like, for example, if you are applying to a hospital or applying to a company, applying to an organization, then if you know somebody who can refer you to that organization or company, his or her reference details only should be put, and don't put unnecessary reference details. And the people who are not known to the organizations, don't put their details, right? If the people whose details you are putting in the reference, they cannot support you, they cannot recommend you, then you should not be putting their details in the references. Understood? Type U in the chat box if you understood this. Okay. So these are the parts of the resume. Now I'll walk you through each of these parts one by one, but just for our understanding, you can take a screenshot of this and keep it with you so that you know that your resume has to have only these parts in any of the resume. All right. Perfect. Thank you everyone for responding, and let's move on. Thank you. Okay. So the first is, of course, the contact information. It is the most important part of any resume, right? So your name has to be correctly written. Many of us do not write our names correctly. We'll put in small letters. We'll not use the sentence case. So whenever we write our name, like for example, my name is Manoj Kumar Yadav. So when I put M has to be in capital, K has to be in capital, Y has to be in capital when I write Manoj Kumar Yadav. So similarly, whatever your name is, you have to write the first letter in capital, and every first letter of this second word, third word has to be in capital only, right? Name has to be correctly written. Then you have to have the email ID and the phone number, and also the LinkedIn profile if you have a LinkedIn profile. So this gives the recruiter easy access to contact you back. Suppose the recruiter has liked your profile, he or she can call you back. Sometimes the phone numbers are wrongly written, email IDs are wrongly written, even the names are wrongly written, right? And if the LinkedIn profile is available, at least the recruiter can click on that and go to the LinkedIn profile and know more about you, right? So we'll learn more about LinkedIn profile also in the end of the session. But these three are the basic contact information that the resume has to have. Okay. Got it? Type got it if you got this. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So first was the contact information, and it is important. Next comes the resume objective or the summary. So now what we should put in the summary. Okay. So this is like a general sample that I have put here, but you can modify this as per your current qualification or current skills or current education. So this is for a nurse who has about 8 years of experience, and she has written something like this. Okay. Advanced practice registered nurse with over 8 years of experience in the care and treatment of outpatient gynecological patients and obstetrical patients in the antepartum, intrapartum, and postpartum stages of pregnancy. So she has written what she has done during that 8 years of time. And she also talks about compassionate certified nursing midwife and the specialist, and then expertise in this. All of that has just given as a summary. So the recruiter will not read the whole resume. He'll just read the summary and he'll understand that, yes, this lady or this person qualifies for the particular job profile that the recruiter is looking for. So similarly, if you are a fresher, you can just write your current skills, volunteering experience, and all of that and put it here. Okay, that's easy. Right. So this, anyways, the recording will be available, so you can see this and create your own summary later on. But for our understanding, we should know that the summary of your resume has to be very crisp, to the point, and help the recruiter to understand who you are as a person, what is your experience, and what value you can give to the organization. These 3 questions your summary has to give to the recruiter. Okay. Let's move on. Next comes the professional experience. Okay, the professional experience contains 3 parts. First part is your designation. Second is duration, from which month or which year to which year you worked in for that designation. Then the organization or the company or the hospital where you worked, and the location of the hospital. Okay, I'll anyways give you the sample, but then this is how it looks like. Say, for example, this particular person, she has worked as a certified nurse midwife or APRN, and the duration was from July 2006 to April 2014, and the organization and the location was this. And then under that profile, in the bullet point, she has also written how she benefited, what were the key roles the nurse played for that organization or the hospital. So similarly, if you are working for a hospital, you should understand what role you are playing in that hospital and how that role is benefiting the organization. Any organization will pay you only if the organization gets a benefit, right? Otherwise, why the organization has to hire you? So you have to showcase this benefit, and when the other recruiters see this benefits, then they'll see, okay, fine, this person has benefited that organization so much, so let me hire this person, right? So this also inspires the recruiters to hire you, right? So right now, if you don't have this kind of experience, then think about your internship when you were in the hospital. What value addition you gave to the team, to the hospital, to the patients. For you, patient value addition is more important, right? So for example, you can increase the traffic of the patients in the hospital. You did the counseling efforts and help the patients improve their medication medication support, and reduce the medication errors in the patients with your counseling support. So those things you can put here, and this will help the hospitals or the recruiters understand that, okay, this person is a good fit because he or she can help the patients improve their quality of life by improving the compliance and also reducing the medication errors. Okay, so this is just a typical example, but whenever we are working in any internships, we normally ignore these points, right? We don't think about it. Whenever we are going for an internship, we should always remember that what value addition we gave to the organization, and we should collect a certificate from them. So this certificate is going to help you to create a resume, a powerful resume, and these points you can take from the certificate also. Many times when you do an internship with the hospital will give a certificate, and the hospital, in that certificate, they would have mentioned that this person worked in XYZ department, and this is what this person did during the internship of, say, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years, right? So that becomes a professional experience of yours. because you have a proof, right? Without proof today, nothing helps, right? So we always have to, whenever you go for internship, collect a proof. And when you do an internship, do with your full dedication and support. Don't we should not do a time pass, right? Because if we do a time pass, we'll not have anything to show to the future recruiters. That's very, very important. We are playing with the life of people. We are supporting and improving the quality of life of patients and healthcare system as a whole. So in that case, in that scenario, it is good for us to play a good role by improving our own self, right? So unless we improve ourselves, we improve our knowledge, we improve our skills, we'll not be able to add value to the healthcare system, right? So professional experience is all about putting these three important points: designation, duration, organization, location, and what you did during that period of time. Just put in the form of a 4-5 bullet points. That's all. Put in the form of 4-5 bullet points with most important ones. Don't put just the generic ones. Okay. If you just put did patient counseling, it does not mean anything. Okay, you counseled XYZ patients and this resulted in these things. So you have to mention like that. Okay, perfect. Moving on. Okay, so just in case you don't have a professional experience, you can also write your volunteering experience. So for example, you volunteered for a health camp or a blood donation camp or a sanitization drive. So all of this can be put in the volunteering activities. And this also plays a good role because today the organizations and hospitals specifically, they are looking for people who can volunteer. If you can volunteer, that means you have a good heart, and that is how you are playing a good role in the society, right? So it proves. And hence you have to volunteer. If you are studying, try to volunteer with for some hospitals, try to organize some health camps, try to do some counseling centers. You can also do counseling for the patients around you, and this way you can help each other and also improve the healthcare system as a whole. Okay, so this is about volunteering. This is important if you don't have any professional experience, if you are just a fresher. Okay, all right. So that now next comes the key skills. So key skills can be put something like this, again in the form of a bullet point, and it has to be very, very specific to the job that you are applying for. Okay, you cannot put a generic skill like, reading habit or traveling or, photography or singing or dancing. These are the skills not needed for that particular job. So better avoid them. When the recruiter sees, he'll not be interested to look at such skills because he is looking for a person who is skillful for that particular job profile, right? So write the skills relevant only for that job profile. And if you don't have any relevant skill, then you learn the skills. And how you can learn? It's very easy. Again, you can do volunteering activities. You can connect with some hospitals and just work for them for free of cost for about 1 month or so. And during this period, you give your 100%. And when you give your 100%, when you do your best, naturally you will learn a lot of things. You have to be always curious when you are learning, right? Because curiosity helps you to grasp the elements, grasp the skill faster, and you can become a very good learner. Okay. So till here, are you with me? Type with you. Okay. If you are with me and if you are able to follow me. Type with you if you are able to follow me so that I continue and I understand everything is working fine and you are able to understand what I'm saying. Type with you if you can, if you are following me. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. And let's move on. All right. So that was about the key skills. Now let's go to the awards and accomplishments. They're very important and they help you to become a unique person when it comes to a batch. So all the entire 60 members in your class cannot have awards and accomplishments. Not everyone is so gifted. Not everyone is so active, right? So only few of the batchmates will get awards and accomplishments, and this really helps you to become unique from the rest of the crowd, right? So if you want to present yourself as a better person, as a better candidate for a job, then these awards and accomplishments will help you out. And again, how do you get awards and accomplishments? So if you are studying, then participate in activities. If you are studying, then participate, do internships. If you are studying, then do some certification courses. There are lots of certification courses. Government of India alone has launched, SWAYAM portal, which has more than 1,200 different courses. You can do these courses for free and learn some key essential skills. Like, so if you have those skills, that definitely you can have a certificate also, and you can put those awards and accomplishments in your resume, and definitely it is going to help you out, right? And the best way is to do some volunteering activity or do an internship in the hospital and get some recognition. And how do you get a recognition? By giving your maybe 120% or 130% during the internship, right? You cannot get an award and accomplishment if you just give 20% and when the hospital or the organization is expecting 100%, right? So we always should give more and more to get recognized in the domain. All right, perfect. Thank you. Let's move on. So next one is the professional membership. So as I told you, just like, in pharmacy, I'm a registered pharmacist. I'm part of several organizations. I'm registered there. So I can tell, a recruiter that I'm part of so-and-so organizations and I'm registered. I have this professional membership. So when I talk about the professional membership, it creates a lot of, professional ethics, right? It supports the person as a professional because the person is registered with key professional associations. So in your case, say for example, if you're a nurse, so you can be registered in a nursing association. There can be a nursing association in your state, or you can also be registered with some of the societies, nursing societies or healthcare societies, where you can keep learning and relearning, right? Because today is a time, it's a digital time, digital era, where there is no stoppage of learning. We cannot say that, okay, I have done my degree and that is enough, right? Today nothing is enough, because what information we knew yesterday is not valid today. Today we have something new. Today is a new information, and every single day there is a new information happening, right? So if you use a smartphone, how many times the smartphone gets updated? Daily, weekly, monthly? Type D, W or M if it is daily or weekly or monthly in the chat box, right? So every time there is an update happening, there is a new thing which is coming. So if you are using Instagram or Facebook, new feeds get updated every single second. And if you are using, if you are on, say for example, you watch news items, news, then you know that there will be so many new developments keep on happening, right? So yesterday we were talking, day for yesterday, we were talking about Virat Kohli and how he changed the game. And then yesterday we were talking about the British Prime Minister, right? So suddenly there is a shift happening. There is so much of change happening in the society, in the world. And every day there is a new information coming up, right? So you have to get updated and upgraded. And only that is possible only if you are a curious learner, right? If you feel that you have learned all and everything, then you'll not be interested to learn new. But if you remain curious, if you stay curious, and also if you want to add value to the profession, right? All of us are learning here to add value to the society, to add value to the profession. And if that is the case, then we have to keep learning new things, right? That is how we add value. We get updated, we stay updated, and with those updates, we keep helping people, right? So every single day, the phones get updated. The software of the phone get updated on a monthly basis or a weekly basis. But most of the apps that you're using, say WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook or all these different apps, they get updated almost daily, right? So all of us also should keep our knowledge updating and upgrading. If you're not doing that, then this is the time you have to start working on your knowledge, right? That was all about the professional membership. So professional membership is very, very important, and you can become a professional person only if you keep upgrading to the next level and stay connected with the associations and the organizations in your state, in your country, and in this different parts of other countries. Now comes the education. Education again is important. Whatever you are studying, some of us study for just passing, some of us study for knowledge. So whatever be the case, knowledge and skills are the most important ones. Our marks will only help us to get a job, but our knowledge and skills will help us to differentiate ourselves from as a professional, as a person in the society. So have a knowledge that helps you to differentiate yourself, right? So when you are studying whatever you are studying right now, learn all the basics, very, very strongly. And these basics should not be left just like that. And don't use shortcuts to learning. There is no shortcuts to knowledge, right? So always have good knowledge, learn the basics, and then finally comes the references. So in the references, as I told you, that the people who can really support you professionally and who can recommend you, only their names and contact details should be put in the resume. So these were the key components of the resume. Anyways, I'll show you again as a sample so that it becomes more clearer to you. But as a rule, we should know that these are the components. Now let's see that this is a particular sample. So if you see, the name of the person is put on the top, then the address, then the phone number, then the email ID. Then you have to have the LinkedIn profile, then you put the professional summary, then you put the skill highlights, then you put the professional experience, and at the end you put the references. Or if you don't have a professional experience, you can put the volunteering activity. You can switch both or you can keep both also. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. So that was about the parts of a resume. Now there are some tips that I want to share with you. Okay, so what are those tips? Let's see. First is create one master resume. So this is like a template for you, right? This resume will have all the skills that you have, all the awards and recognitions that you have, and everything that you have done, all the education you have done, all the volunteering activities you have done. This is like a master resume, right? So that is the first part you have to consider whenever you are creating a resume. Now, whenever you are applying for a job, read the description of the job requirement for that job. Okay, when you read the description or the job description, you will know what the recruiter is actually looking for from the candidate for that job. Okay, now take the master resume, save that master resume for this particular job, save as. You can just go and in the Microsoft document and click on save as and put the name of this job for which you are applying. Now remove all the unnecessary elements and keep only those elements which are relevant for this job for which you are applying. Okay, so now what happens, your resume is modified for the new job for which you are applying. It's a tailored one. It's a tailored resume for this job. Your master resume remains as it is. You are not touching that, but you are using the master resume to modify that for a new job for which you are applying. And it is approved a fact that more than 60% of the employers want job specific resume. They don't want a general resume to be sent. And if you're sending a general resume, then it will not differentiate you from the rest of the crowd, the rest of the people who have applied for the same job. If you want to be differentiated, if you stand out, if you want to stand out from the rest of the crowd, then you have to keep your resume tailored for that particular job, modified for that particular job. And this will help the recruiter to understand that you are a right fit for that particular job. Okay. Your resume has to be short and direct. Don't use unnecessary words. Don't use unnecessary design, graphics. Your photo is not needed on the resume. All of that is unnecessary. Okay. So it has to be plain, simple resume with as little content as possible, but as informative as possible. The information has to be complete, but the use of word has to be limited. Use limited words to create more content. Okay. And maximum 2 pages. Okay, unless you have too much to share. Okay, if you have too much to share, you can always share later if the recruiter actually wants to know more, but then keep the resume as short as possible, preferably 1 page. But if it is not possible in 1 page, make it for 2 pages, maximum 2 pages. Don't keep the resume for more than 2 pages. No one has patience to read so much, right? Even I'm not a recruiter, but since I'm connected to so many pharmacy professionals, I keep getting at least 30 to 40 resumes every week. Now, for me, it is impossible for to check all the resumes in real time. Only those of the people whom I really know, I check the resume and reply back, but most of them just go and stay in my inbox. I don't have time to read and see. Similarly, for all the recruiters, I'm not a recruiter, I told, but the recruiters as such, they'll be getting resumes in large volumes. They'll be getting in hundreds, maybe thousands. And imagine if you're putting so much of information, recruiters will not have time to go through the information that you have put. Okay. Always use the bullet points. Keep the formatting, the layout of the resume has to be simple. Keep bullet points, and it has to be easy to use and identify the important qualifications and the information in the resume. Present information in a logical order. Have some logic. Present the information in a logical manner. Have some flow, some stories, some logic whenever you are putting the information. Okay. Highlight the relevant key skills and experiences. How you can do that? You can simply bold it, or you can put as italics. Instead of putting in different color, just use simple font, simple format by putting it in bold or italics to highlight that relevant experience and the skills. Okay. Do not include unrelated work experience. So if you're applying for a particular job profile, don't use unrelated work experiences. Okay. Focus on your recent experience. This is always, we should think about it. Always focus on your recent experiences only. Do not put on unrelated and past experiences, all the old experiences that are not relevant to the profile that you are applying. Demonstrate results with numbers and metrics. Like, for example, I reduced operating expenses by 45% in 3 months. I helped more than 50% of the patients to improve their quality of life by doing proper patient counseling. Okay. I help the wastage of medicines by doing proper counseling. I help the prescription improved prescription rates by helping them take the medicines better, or something like that. I reduce the antibiotic usage by counseling the patients. Okay, I reduced the antibiotic use by 45% or 30% by proper counseling to the patient, so that did not repeat the same antibiotics over and over again. So these kind of statements should be put so that it shows you are a result-oriented person, right? So everyone today wants a result-oriented person for their job. So if you put such sentences in your resume, in your professional job profile, then it becomes very, very easy for the recruiter to understand you as a potential candidate for that job. All right. Always list your social media profiles. Today, the companies are checking the users on different social media platforms. What you do on Instagram, what you do on Facebook, everything is known to people. It's a public platform. These are all public platforms, right? And there are softwares these recruiters use, so that just by putting your email ID, just by putting your phone number, just by putting your name or date of birth, they can track the entire social media profile in just one screen. Okay, so today there are a lot of softwares which help the recruiters to screen the candidates. And in my experience, I have seen, in specifically to pharmacy domain, we have seen that the recruiters have rejected some profiles because they were not they were posting unwanted content in the social media. They were putting biased content, too much of religious content, and too much of unethical content on their Facebook profiles or Instagram profiles. So you have to use these social media profiles very, very cautiously, because everything whatever put on these platforms is publicly available. They are visible publicly, right? So anything and everything that you put public in the public, you have to be careful. Okay, and put the LinkedIn profile link, because that's supposed to be the #1 business or the professional platform that really helps you to stand out from the rest of the crowd of yours. Okay. Your contact detail, your email ID has to be professional. I'll tell you how to create a professional email ID when we go to the email ID section. But your email ID has to look professional. Like, for example, if my name is Manoj Kumar, then maybe my email ID should be manoj.kumar@gmail.com instead of cuteboy@gmail.com or hellobaby@gmail.com, right? So in our college life, we create funny email IDs, but we should not be using the same email IDs when we grow as a professional, right? So when we grow as a professional, when we come out of the college, maybe our email IDs should change, and we should create professional looking email IDs. Preferably your name has to be there, full name has to be there. If you don't find an email ID with your full name, then maybe you can put hello and then put your name. And like, for example, in my case, I have an email ID which is hello Manoj ky@gmail.com. So that is one of my email IDs. Okay, and then your phone number, put only the phone number which is active. Don't put the WhatsApp number. Some of the students, they use a WhatsApp number, a separate number, and a regular calling number as a separate number. But when you are using the phone and when you are giving to the recruiter, always use the phone number that is on a calling number. No recruiter will WhatsApp you. Normally, the recruiters don't ever WhatsApp you. They'll call you directly if you are shortlisted. So always give them the number through which you can be contacted back. Okay. And optimize your text. So there is something called as applicant tracking system. Most of the big hospitals, big MNC companies, they use a system called as applicant tracking system. Okay. Now I will not talk much about applicant tracking system because it will take too much of our time, but you can go to my YouTube channel and I have done specific videos on this. You can watch those videos and learn how this applicant tracking system works. So basically what happens is whenever a job vacancy comes in an organization, the recruiter will put certain keywords, like, so keywords is fed into the system. And whenever the resumes are uploaded through the software, like Monster, Naukri, or the website of the organization, this software screens the resume for those keywords, and it will select the specific resume that match the keywords. All other resumes are rejected. So this is the job of a applicant tracking system. Basically, it helps the recruiters to process the applications faster. Now, so let's say, in Manipal Hospital, there is a vacancy. Now, Manipal is a big hospital and they have a recruitment team. Now, they cannot physically screen all the profiles, right? So probably what they do is they'll ask you to upload their resume on their website. And this website is connected to an ATS system. And whenever you upload the resume, this ATS system will screen your resume. It will scan the resume and search for those specific keywords. And if it finds the keyword, it will select the resume and keep it in the shortlisted folder. Otherwise, it will start rejecting. So if 1,000 candidates apply directly to the website, maybe 50 or 60 candidates are shortlisted. And this shortlisted list is given to the recruiter, and then they'll go for search only those, screen only those 50 candidates instead of screening the 100 or 1,000 candidates. So this is the job of a tracking system or applicant tracking system, and it helps the recruiter, but it is always a problem for the candidates, because candidates do not know how to optimize their profile or optimize their resume for the ATS system, right? So we should know as candidate that most of the companies today, they have started ATS systems, and we should optimize our profile or resume for the ATS system, right? So you can watch another video that I did long back on my YouTube channel, and you can learn more about what ATS system is, how it works, and how you need to configure or optimize your resume. Okay. Perfect. Moving on. So there are some common errors that normally we do, and let's understand what are those common errors. First is, of course, name. I told you that we write in smaller case, lower case, and we do not write them correctly. Then we write our degrees wrongly, right? So we'll write all in smaller case, all in upper case, or always sometimes we do put a comma or full stop between the words or letters. And then we write the name of the college also wrongly. Okay, so college name, degree name, and the name of our candidate should always be used in the proper case, right? So always the first letter of each word has to be in the capital letter, and the rest of the letters should be in the smaller case. Okay, use the comma and full stops carefully, because they'll change the meaning of the sentences and the names also. Next, spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Spelling, we do a lot of errors. You go and see the resume of the candidates, there will be so many spelling mistakes, there will be grammar mistakes, there will be unnecessary use of comma, full stop, and question mark and exclamation mark and all of that. Never use them. Okay, use them very, very carefully. I told you in the beginning that we have to put as less content as possible in the resume, and it has to be more informative. By putting less content, you have to create more informative information. Okay, another thing, another mistake that we do is we create a Word document in the phone or on a laptop, and we start sending the same resume to everyone, the Word document. Now, what happens is, if I'm using a lower software version in my computer, the formatting of the resume will change in my computer. Okay, if the recruiter is using a high-end version and yours is a lower version, then also the formatting will change. Right, so all of us are not using the same system, same software, same device. Everybody is using a different one, right? So how to avoid this? The easiest way is to go to the Word document and save that resume as a PDF, and then send only the PDF file. Okay, so by sending the PDF file, PDF is a universal document, and in all the systems it will appear in the same format, right? So always send your resume in the form of a PDF unless the recruiter tells you to send in the Word file. Okay, so this way you can avoid the formatting errors. Okay, the headings, I told you those 7-8 headings, right? The contact details, the objective summary, the education, the references, the qualifications, the skills and accomplishments, and all of that. Those headings are important because they help the recruiter to move to the resume faster. If you don't put a heading, then where he'll read? He has to read the whole resume, right? He'll not have so much of time, but he wants to read only what accomplishments you have done, what volunteering activity you have done, what is your educational qualification. Then he simply just scans through the resume, he goes to the specific heading, and then he'll read that particular content. Okay, so these were the common mistakes that we do. Now let's understand, once we have the resume ready, what are the job sites where we want to create or apply for the job or search for the jobs. Okay, so the easiest one is, of course, your contacts and connections, right? So you have to have your contacts. Whenever you are studying, you have to have your contacts ready, your seniors connections ready, your juniors connections ready, and people in the industry you should know, in the hospitals you should know, in the healthcare departments you should know. If you are studying for 4 years and 5 years or 6 years, and if you have not established your contacts and connections, then it's your mistake. No one else is to be blamed for that. You cannot blame the college, you cannot blame anyone. It is your mistake, right? You have access to the entire world on your smartphones, and if you're not utilizing that properly, then we are not supposed to blame anyone, right? So we have to have some good contacts and connections in the industry who can help us immediately when we shift from the college to the for a job, right? That's the first point. And the second point is, yeah, that's the contacts and the connections. And the second point is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a wonderful platform, and it has more than 850 million people today from more than 200 countries. So if you are present on LinkedIn as a professional person, then you can get connected to so many people there, and you can get connected to profession specific people. So if I'm a pharmacist, I can get connected to thousands and thousands and lakhs of pharmacists. If you're a nurse, you can get connected to thousands and thousands of nurses. If you're a doctor, you can get connected to so many doctors across the globe, right? There is no limit on how many connections you can have. You can have up to 30,000 contacts on LinkedIn, and you can have up to, there is no limit on the number of followers. So there are few people on LinkedIn who have few lakhs of followers and they can still, it is growing, right? So LinkedIn is a wonderful platform. So if you don't have an account, I suggest you go on LinkedIn and create a profile for yourself. It just needs your name, mobile number, date of birth, and then you are good to go, right? But it has a lot of work to be done, and I'll tell you what works to be done at the end of the session after the presentation. Okay, so that was the second one. So LinkedIn is a great site, especially if you're searching for international jobs and jobs from the big MNCs and hospitals. Okay, so they normally post the vacancies in that platform, and you can get them. Third option is, of course, the Google. Okay, the Google site can be reached by putting jobs.google.com on the browser, and Google is a wonderful place where you can have collection of all the different sites, vacancies that arise, right? So you can have all the sites accessed directly through the Google. And the next one is Indeed. So Indeed is also a good platform where you can search for jobs, apply directly through the sites, the vacancies that the recruiters have given, and you can also see the different types of vacancies that come across for your type of profession. Okay. Next one is Naukri. I am sure all of you know this, Naukri.com. And this is supposed to be India's #1 job portal site. They say India's #1 job site, but I'm not so sure. I have never created. When I was in the college, I had one profile there, but I never updated that later on. So you can have a site, you can have a profile there, and you can keep searching for jobs and keep applying. The only thing is, only requirement if you're applying for any of these job portals is you have to be very active. So you need to keep updating it, keep updating the profiles, keep looking for the jobs, and keep creating content about your different opportunities. So Monster is another site, monster.com. There also you can go and search for the jobs. Okay, so these are the different sites where you can apply for these are the different sites. You can take a screenshot if you want to. These are the different sites where you can search for jobs, apply for jobs directly, and also see different kinds of job vacancies, state-wise, country-wise, and even worldwide. Okay, so these are the sites. Now let's go on to the next part. So these are the different job sites, and now let's understand how do you search for jobs, right? When you are searching for jobs, it is natural. It's a natural process that we normally get very upset, right? Get very sad when you are searching for a job. You have spent a few years in the college, and then you come out of the college and you are searching for job, and you become very desperate, right? So when we become desperate, there are people who take advantage of that desperation, right? So that's the reason there are a lot of job scams which are happening. And we'll definitely connect with you questions. I'll question and answer during that time. I'll answer your questions. But there are a lot of job scams which are happening. So they'll tell, okay, there is this vacancy and you pay X amount and then you get this job confirmed. Never ever believe such job vacancies. Okay, because no recruiter will ask for money for in providing you any job. Okay, so if you get any SMS, never click such links. If you get a WhatsApp message, never click such link. If you get an email, never click such link, because they will be all scammy links, and they might take out all the information, personal information of yours, and they'll start cheating you and scamming you. So never do that, especially with the job search. Always look out for the company where the vacancy is. Read about the company. Google is there with you. It will help you to understand what the company is all about. You can go to their websites, go to the company websites, learn about the company, learn about what they're looking for, and then connect with the recruiter directly on LinkedIn or different other platforms. LinkedIn is the best platform that you can connect with the recruiters and then find out if they have this vacancy where you can apply. Okay. So always be aware of the job scams. That's the #1 point. #2 point is never ever share your personal contact details on public platforms, right? Or with unknown people. So many of us do this mistake. We'll go to WhatsApp, and if somebody has asked that there is a vacancy in this XYZ hospital, we'll just simply put our phone number and email ID as a comment there, and we'll just submit it, right? So we don't know if the person is authentic, right? If the person is genuinely looking for a job, so giving that vacancy for a good heart, right? So many a times they'll be scamming. And if you put your phone number and email ID there, it is reachable. This is accessible to anyone on the platform, right? Anyone across the globe, and very, very high chance that this can be misused, right? So never ever share any of your personal information in any of the public domains, right? It's very important, and we should be very, very careful. And there are a lot of students who have been cheated with these platforms. People know that, okay, this person has sent the phone number and the email ID, and then they'll message you that, okay, there was a vacancy, you had applied for this, now this is the link, click this to apply and send your resume. And once you click, your mobile is hacked. They'll access your data, they'll upload your contact, and so many things are happening. There are a lot of case studies. There are a lot of videos on Google. You can just watch them on YouTube and learn more how these people are scamming. And it is very essential for us to be aware of these scammers. Okay. Be on LinkedIn. I told you it's a very good platform, and you can start searching for job, start building your online profile. And there I have done 3-4 videos, I think 3 videos on LinkedIn, and all the videos are available on my YouTube channel. So you can search on my YouTube channel by the word LinkedIn, and you can get through all the videos. You can watch them multiple times and then learn how to be on LinkedIn, how to create a profile on LinkedIn, and how to optimize. Creating profile itself is not enough. You have to optimize your profile, right? So there is the way the photo has to be put, the way your description has to be put, the way your details of the college has to be put. All of that has to be optimized. It is very important, right? And this is possible only if you know how to do it. And this is what I did. I did 3 sessions on LinkedIn, and the recordings are available, so you can watch them. Obviously, it is not possible for me to cover everything now. So you can watch those recordings and learn, and you can start optimizing. And in case you face any problem, you can definitely reach out to me and I'll try to help you out. Okay. And then there is one more video I did, which is called as 4 steps to your dream job. In that video, I have told how to search for a job, how to connect to people, how to optimize your resume, and how to send the resume. All the steps are given in that. So you can watch that also, and you can learn more. Okay. So this is the way to search jobs. And this is also the way not to search jobs, right? So the first 2 points will tell you what not to do. And the second 2 points will tell you what to do, right? Perfect. So this is all about the resume part. And now let's go to the email. So is it clear till here? You have some doubts and questions related to resume? We can take some questions. Was this informative so far? Was it good so far? I'll take up the questions maybe later on if you don't have any questions at this point of time. But tell me, was this information useful so far? You learned something new? Type new if you learned something new. All right. Thank you, Sultana, for that message. What about others? Thank you, Ragini. I just hope you're learning something new, right? So then the whole objective of the session will be effective. Thank you, Momita. Thank you, Rohi. Supriya, thank you. Pinky, thank you. Okay, Arshita, thank you. So thank you, everyone. Okay, basically the whole objective is to help you understand, because this is the time you remain most vulnerable, right? So you'll be very desperate to search for a job, and then during this desperation, we should not make mistakes. And the whole objective of this session was to help you understand then that what to do and what not to do, right? It is always good to know what not to do and follow it, because if you don't follow, and if you know everything but don't follow, then it is useless, right? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So let's move on to email, and it's again important, right? So what is a good email ID? So during the students' time, I'm sure some of us will have funny email IDs, but we should have always some good email ID. The good email ID means your name has to be there in the email ID, right? So I gave my example. Say, for example, my name is Manoj Kumar Y. So Manoj Kumar Yadav. So my email ID should be manojkumaryadav@gmail.com. Or if I don't get that email ID, then maybe manoj.kumar.yadav@gmail.com, or hello Manoj Kumar y@gmail.com, or something like that. Okay. We should not put numbers and all of that, because it is very cumbersome. Imagine a recruiter typing your email ID when he wants to send an email, and you have put 10-digit number or 5-digit number. There is always a possibility that a mistake might happen with that when the person is typing, right? And imagine if one time the mistake happens and the email gets bounced, recruiter will not take any pain to write and send email one more time, because they are so busy people, right? They'll not have so much of time to do it one more time. Right? So email should never be confusing. It has to be clear. It should be easily understandable, and preferably it has to just showcase your name. And if you don't have this, then you should plan to create a new email ID for the next phase of your life. Whatever you had so far was good. Maybe it helped you out. But for the next phase of your life, I think you should have a good email ID, right? Have a professional looking email ID. Okay, you can have on Gmail, you can have on Outlook, you can have on Yahoo, Rediff. There are so many providers. You can have on anywhere, right? But have a good email ID, preferably with full name of yours. All right, so that was a good email ID. Now let's see what is an email, right? So email is a written form of communication. We write content, and when we write, we have to be extra careful, right? Why? Because we are getting a very short period of time. In that short 2-3 paragraphs, we are supposed to communicate everything, right? So it has to be very polished, very clear and formal, respectful, right? We have to be very respectful, and when you are communicating, we should not use the WhatsApp language. Right? So where are you? Many of the students will say WRU, right? Where are you? WRU is where are you, right? So such languages should not be, such a word should not be used in an email communication. Email should be very polished. All the information has to be put in the email and clear. Full content has to be put with real life spoken communication. How we speak, how we respectfully talk to people, the same respect should be shown there as an email communication also. You cannot afford to have it as a short form with a lot of unnecessary things there. Okay, so that is an email. And why it is needed? Of course, because of this, it creates a good impression. So if you imagine you sent an email to the recruiter, okay, it creates a very good impression to the recruiter, right? It is a professional yet personalized communication. Say, for example, you are sending an email to me, you'll write probably dear Manoj or dear sir or respected sir or whatever, right? So it is a personalized communication. You're sending to an individual person with the professional touch, right? So it's a professional yet personalized communication. It is a very efficient mode of communication. You click the send button and the email has come to me, right? It's so convenient. It's a very, very efficient mode of communication. You can send email to anywhere across the globe and it will reach with just click of a button, right? So it's a very efficient mode of communication. And it is one mode of communication that can be documented and also be put in the court of law. So if something goes wrong or there is a miscommunication, the same email writing can also be shown as a proof in the court of law, right? So it's a documented form. So it has been established. Rest, like WhatsApp messages and all, they will not be considered many a times as in the court of law, but email communication is generally considered as a proof in the court of law, right? So these are the reasons why email is very, very important, right? A bad email can be easily misinterpreted. So if you are not using the right words, if you have not written the right email, if you have used bad words in the email, if you send bad attachments or wrong attachments in the email, then the whole communication, the logic, the reason behind the whole communication can be misunderstood or misinterpreted. And when there is a misunderstanding or misinterpretation, everything goes wrong, right? So we should always be careful when we are writing an email, because whatever we write, a single comma, full stop difference also may lead to miscommunication in the email, right? So this is the reason why we need to have an email. And let's see what are the 5 C's of email writing. Okay, and these are the 5 C's. So of course, the email has to be concise, very, very short. Okay, with less words, more information. Okay, it has to be clear. The entire content, whatever you have written, has to be clear. No unnecessary words should be used. It has to be complete. One email communication has to be complete in all the respects, because the person will not come back if you provide incomplete information. So always, whatever be the topic, whatever be the subject, you have to write the whole information in just one email. Okay. Next, it has to be courteous. Courteous means respectful. We always want respect, right? But we'll never get respect unless we respect others. So we have to always respect others first to get that respect. So we have to be courteous. Whenever we are sending email, we have to we have to be respectful in the mail. So if we are respectful, if we send a respectful mail, you might get a respectful reply. But if you are not courteous in the email, 2 things might happen. Either you will never get a reply, or if you get a reply, it may be with bad words, right? So you have to be respectful. and it has to be correct. Don't use unnecessary, incomplete information, wrong information. It has to be correct, factually correct. So these are the 5 C's of email writing. And whenever you are writing email, just remember these 5 C's: clear, concise, clear, complete, courteous, and correct. 5 fingers, so 5 C's. And then remember this. And whenever you write email, ensure that read that email again, and then ensure that all the 5 C's are taken care of when you have written the email. Okay, so that is about the 5 C's. Now let's see what are the different parts of an email. Okay, so this is a sample email that I have put here. Okay, so first part is, of course, there is a subject line. So every email will have a topic or a subject line. There is a topic, right? So each email communication will have one subject, one reason for sending the email. Then there is a sender. The person who sends the email is called as a sender. Then there is a recipient. The person who receives the email is called as a recipient. Then there is a carbon copy. The carbon copy is, if you are sending the same copy of email to another person, then that person's email ID is called as a carbon copy. There is something called as blind carbon copy, BCC, in the email. Blind carbon copy is, you can put n number of email IDs in that, and when the email is sent, all these people will get the email ID of only the 2% and the sender. That's all. They'll not be able to know who are all the people in the BCC. They'll see as an undisclosed recipients. Okay, that was the point number 3. And the next one is salutation. Salutation is, you always start an email with respect, right? So you say good morning, good afternoon, dear sir, dear madam, whatever you want to put, you can put that. Salutation is important. You can say dear sir, dear madam, or good afternoon madam, good afternoon sir, or you can also put the name, because if you address with the name of the person, it is more connected with you, right? Then there comes the email body. Email body is the information that you want to put in the email. Okay, so anything that you want to showcase, anything that you want to send to that person is called as the email body. And this information can be put in 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs. Don't put beyond 3, 4 paragraphs or 6 paragraphs. And all these paragraphs, when you are putting, it has to be connected. So paragraph 1 has to be connected to paragraph 2, and paragraph 2 has to be connected to paragraph 3. Unnecessary, unrelated content you should not be putting. That was point number 5, that is called as email body of the email. Then you have a closing sentence, which is like thank you, or yours obediently, yours sincerely, yours respectfully, whatever. And then you have signature. Signature is your name, your full name preferably, and your designation, your phone number, and if you have any logo or logo of the company or the hospital, you can put that. And the 8th point is the attachment. So if you are sending a resume to somebody, then you should always attach the file in the same email, right? So this way the email gets complete, and you have 8 different parts to an email. Okay, type CLR if this was clear, and if you understood all the parts of the email. Type CLR in the chat box so that I know you understood all the parts in the clear. CLR if it is clear. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Okay, great. Okay, let's move on. So that were the parts of an email, and it is very, very important. Just like we learn WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook so quickly, this is an official mode of communication. Email is an official mode of communication. And as a rule, we are supposed to know this. Okay. Okay, all right. Next, if you're sending an email for a job, right? Then what happens is there is a certain format that you are supposed to follow. And what the format is, say for example, first you start with the subject line. So subject line is, you will be putting the job role, whatever job role is, say for example, assistant nurse or assistant pharmacist or assistant research position, whatever. That goes in the subject line, and your name has to come there. Okay, so if the person later on wants to search your email, if that person can put your name, then he can search the email of yours. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then you have to put dear sir, dear madam, or dear hiring manager, or whatever. Then you have to introduce yourself. how you introduce yourself, you say that I'm so and so, completed my so and so degree from so and so college, and I came across this job vacancy through this particular site, and I'm applying for this position to your esteemed company or honored company. And then you put all the information there as a second paragraph, and put your attachment as attach your resume in the email. And then finally you say your sincerely, and then put your name again, mobile number, and designation if possible, if there is a designation, and then send the email. Okay, so this is the first part. So you have sent an email to a hiring manager or a recruiter. This is the part one, right? So you know the parts of the email, then you sent an email for the job. Now what happens, you wait for a few days, say 15 days, and then you have to send an email back to the recruiter saying that, respected so and so, I had sent an email on this date. If you need further information regarding my profile, please let me know. So then what happens, you are following up with the person, right? And suppose that person did not get a chance to see your previous email. When you are sending a follow-up email, that person will look at your email and probably he might reconsider your resume. So that's the objective of sending a follow-up email. And it is important to send follow-up emails after, say, at least 15 days time. Okay, many a times what happens, if you send a follow-up email, the recruiter will reply you back saying that, sorry, your resume was not selected because of XYZ reason. Then what happens, you get a feedback on your resume, and you can upgrade your resume and send back to another recruiter. So okay, so that's the reason for doing a follow-up email. All right, so now coming to the bonus, right? So the bonus is, I'll be sending a resume template and a cover letter sample to all of you after you submit the feedback. So once you submit the feedback, automatically you'll get a link to access the bonus template. Okay, so I'll be sending the feedback link here on Zoom and also in the WhatsApp groups, and also on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, right? So perfect. Thank you so much for your time. And with this, we come to the end of this session, and I'll be more than happy to take up some questions if you have any questions. So please let me know if you like the session. How was the session? Was it useful? Did I add some value to your learnings? So this is the feedback form. Once you fill in the feedback form, I'll be sending you the template. I mean, you'll download the template directly after filling the feedback form. Okay. Yeah, that's it. You can download the resume template from the feedback form. Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, and make a note of the feedback form. Don't forget, it is very important. This will help us to plan future sessions based on your requirement, because I do not know what is your current requirement and what is your current knowledge, right? So it is important to fill the feedback form. With this, I'll know, okay, this is what you are looking for, and this is what you found valuable in this session. And this way we stay connected and we keep learning together, right? So that was the feedback form. Don't you take some time and start filling the feedback form. And with this, we'll do one more session and we'll come back to you. All right. So thank you so much. If you want to ask any question, please raise your virtual hand on Zoom. I'll unmute you, and then I'll try to answer some questions. And if you want to ask any question on YouTube, then you can put in the chat box and I'll take the question from there. All right. Thank you. So we'll do some more sessions in future. We'll try to connect you with the recruiters also, different hospitals and organizations in the future. Stay connected and keep learning. And this recording of this entire session will be available to you, so you can watch that recording later on. And keep learning. That's important, because learning should never stop, right? We should always continue to learn. just completing the degree is not good enough today. There is so much of things which are needed. So stay connected and keep learning. That's important. And keep helping people also. So if you know somebody who's stuck and who needs a help with respect to sending resume or sending an email, then keep helping that person. That is how we learn together. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any questions? I'll try to take. If you have any questions, I'll love to take. If no questions, no problem. There are only two possibilities if you don't have any questions. You have understood everything or you have not understood anything. This is what my professor used to say. So I hope you understood something at least. All right. Thank you, Momita, for responding. Perfect. So what is the next topic you want me to cover? You can put in the feedback form. Don't put in the chat box because there will be so many messages in the chat box. I'll miss out. Please use the feedback form and I'll take a note from there and plan next session depending on what you want from that. Okay. So the feedback form I have sent. What else is pending? Did I send the feedback form? No, right? I have not sent you the feedback form. Give me one moment. I'll send you the feedback form. Okay. Just give me one moment. I'll send you the feedback form. Okay. So here is the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form. It will help me to plan the further sessions and help you understand more and more. Right? Feedback is important and helps us to stay connected and keep learning. All right. Don't forget to fill the feedback form. It is important. And this is how I'll know what topics you want in future. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And with this, we come to an end of the session. And since I don't see any questions, I will wrap up the session. Okay, so there is one question on YouTube, and the question is from Amar. He says, what is the benefits of a premium account? So there are lots of benefits of a premium account. First thing is it is paid. You'll have to spend at least 2,000 rupees per month. I think 1,600 rupees it starts and it goes to 6,000 rupees per month. And there are different plans. And with each plan, you get different benefits. The plans are available on the LinkedIn profile website itself. So you can see, and if you want any specific plan or there is a specific objective for which you are going for, then you can go for that paid plan. Okay, I am right now on a paid plan because I want to connect with more people, and there are certain specific benefits of paid plan. One is you can send 15 messages to unknown people also on LinkedIn, right? So if you're not on the paid plan, you can send messages only to your first degree connections, and to the second and third degree connections, you cannot send messages. But with the paid plan, you can send messages to anyone. So that's the benefit. Okay. All right. So anyone has raised the hand? Okay, Mamta, you can unmute and talk. You have raised the hand. I have given you the unmuting right. You can unmute your Mamta, there is so much of disturbance. I can't hear you. Anybody else wants to ask any question? Just let me know, or else we are good to go. So please fill the feedback form. I have sent you the feedback form in the chat box. use the feedback form. That's important for me to plan future sessions for you. All right. Thank you, everyone. And with your permission, I'll end the session for today. And we'll meet sometime again later on for some more learnings. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shushmita. Thank you, Shahnab. Thank you, Aparna. Thank you, Zulfa. Thank you, Tanushri. Thank you, Shushmita. Momita, thank you so much. Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you, Kanika. All of you so much. Thank you so much. So do not forget to, Deepika, thank you. Shilpi, thank you. Do not forget to fill the feedback form and get those templates, right? So once you fill the feedback forms, you'll have access to the templates. Otherwise, you can't access them. All right. Thank you and bye-bye. Thank you.